What's going on YouTube? This is the one and only Shadow Taker here, and today we are probably going to be doing the final deck profile of my cubics. I did get a comment on one of my videos over here and asking me for a deck profile on the video, so here it is, man. So what I was playing in that sort of specific build, my deck is like almost real life. So we are playing 3 Crimson Nova, the Dark Cubic Lord. We shall know what this does by now. Unaffected by monsters, activate effects who has 3,000 or less original attack points. Keep that in mind, original. So if they are buffed above it, they still have to go by their original attack. Can make 2 attacks if it destroys a monster by battle in the first attack, and deals 3,000 points of damage to each player simultaneously during the end phase. Next up, we are playing basically the starter of the deck, Duza, the Cubic Meteor Vessel. This is your Foolish Burial of the deck. You send Karma, Dharma, Unification, any card that you need in the graveyard at that time, you can put it in there. It also has a 200 point boost for whenever a monster is sent from the field to the graveyard. You know, if you want to get a little cheeky with that during damage step, you can get it in there. Next up, we play 3 Vijam, the Cubic Seeds. This is your wall. It cannot be destroyed by battle, and places a cubic counter on your opponent's monster when it battles. So if they're dumb enough, which sometimes people don't even fucking read this card, they just blindly attack into it, and I just say, yeah, cubic counter time, bitch. For the one-offs, for the one-off cubics, we are playing 1 Gear Guile. This is so like if we are going into time, you know, this is a good way to burn the opponent for 800, and it takes 1 cubic monster, so you know it's not very hard to summon. Next up, we are playing 1 Indiora, Doomvolt, the Cubic Emperor. You're going to be mainly summoning this guy off of Unification with that graveyard effect. If it rarely comes up if you summon it from a hand with the special summon from 3. And next up, we play 1 Buster Gundle. It's the same reason why I'm playing Indiora, is because anytime these 2 guys get destroyed by battle or by card effects by your opponents, you can special summon up to 3 cubic monsters from your graveyard, and you can add 1 cubic card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So usually you're going to be summoning off Duza if it comes down to that. Next up, for the non-cubic monster, is 3 Summoner Monk. I've seen people play 2, even 1, but me, I'm more of a 3 elf because I want to turbo out Duza as fast as possible. So maximizing my play options of 3 Summoner Monk is my route to go. And this card with Karma is one of my famous 2-card combos. And speaking of that 2-card combo, is to start off is with 3 Karma. We shall know what this card does. You know, usually you're going to be using it for the graveyard Rhoda effect, so nothing to explain there. 3 Cubic Wave, doubling your cubic monster and cutting your opponent's monster in half. Usually you're going to be doing this with a Nova to 6,000, sometimes even getting Nova up to 10,800, and sometimes, rarely, but it can happen, you're going to be putting Nova over 20,000, which is fucking lethal. Next up, we are playing 3 Dharma. This is, you're going to make any cubic monster battle 0. Like, if you summon a Vijam, you could just smash into your opponent, not care about life points, take no damage, and you can freely place that cubic counter on your opponent. Also, it has the 2 effects where you can send a card, not cost, so if they do ask you, you still keep that cubic card in hand, which kind of sucks in a way, and you can draw 1. And it has a graveyard effect where it's almost like Karma, but instead of from the deck, you get it back from the graveyard. So let's say like you have this card in your graveyard, and let's say your opponent summon strike your Nova summon. Well, you can banish this card and get that Nova back. For the back row hate, remember, this deck really falls to back row. Back row is Cubix's worst enemy, so how do we deal with that? Well, we're going to be playing that with 2 Twin Twisters. Obviously, discard card, target 2 back row, pop them, especially with the discard popping, well, it's good enough. And Harpy's Feather Duster, all back row hate, very good. Next up, I am playing 2 Foolish Burials. The reason why I'm only playing 2 is because, like I said in I think it was my first Cubic deck profile, like, I had opened up with 3 of them, and it was not good. I even lost that game because I had 3 in hand. So I only play 2, and even if I open with 2, it's not the end of the world. Next up for draw power, I play 2 Pot of Extravagance. I wish I had my hands on 3 because that would make the deck so much better. Like, you really don't care for your extra deck. So playing the 2 Extravagance is good. It's a +1 basically. And 1 Monster Reborn to round up the spell cards. Monster Reborn, what's not to explain. Next up, we are playing 3 Unifications. You're not going to be using this to fusion summon. I don't play the fusion guy, so usually you're just going to be using this for the graveyard effect. So that's it. 1 Cubic Causality. It's it's interesting, like, it's another Cubic name for Nova. And also, like, if you have like Nova and, let's say, Duos on the board, you can actually place this Cubic counters on your opponent's monsters. So, like, during any time, like, I even stopped in a battle phase because I had like 4 Cubic monsters on my board, and I just stopped them dead in their track because of that. And a nice way to get them Cubic counters automatically during battle phase is Cubic Ascension. This is where you summon out your seed when they declare an attack. It has like a Hope Harbinger type effect. So they attack right into your V-Gem, and yeah, the rest is history. And to round up the main deck, I'm playing 3 Infinite Impermanence. It's Infinite Impermanence, come on. We should all know what this does by now. So that rounds up the main deck. It's 40 cards. For the extra deck, we're going to start off with the links. We are playing Access Code Talker. Shoutouts to my friend Panam. I just got this today. Thank you, Panam. You're the best. Borosaur Dragon. Borolo Dragon. Nightmare Unicorn. Triple Burst. Nightmare Phoenix, Underclock Taker, and Pentastag. This is where you're really going to be starting climbing up with those unifications. And so, Pentastag and Underclock Taker are my main 2 Link 2 monsters that I usually go into just to get that quick kill. So, Pentastag does the piercing, and Underclock Taker just reduces my opponent's monster by whatever it points to, and usually that's all their attack points gone. So it's almost like a direct attack almost. And shame on you two. Whoever is not playing at least these 2 cards, shame on you. You fucking suck. Like, the rest you don't have to play, but these 2 are fucking, like, literally fucking mandatory. Fuck yous. Whoever not playing that. For the XCs, we are playing number 60. This is to draw and discard. And so, like, you really don't care if you skip your next draw phase, because usually if you're going for that route, usually you're seeing lethal. Baguska, just in case you have to go first. Abyss Dweller for those graveyard effects. Tornado Dragon, more back row hate. And last but not least, we are playing Utopia, Prime, Lightning to round off the extra deck. Side deck is up to personal preference, really. So if you want to do whatever you want with your side deck, go right ahead. I don't care. But this is probably my last Cubic deck profile forever until I massively change it, which is very unlikely. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment, rate, and subscribe. To links will be down in the description below. This is the one and only Shadow Taker. Signing out, YouTube. Adios, motherfuckers. Peace.